This is a short tutorial on Functional Skills English, and specifically today we're going to be looking at purposes of text. Now, this is strictly relating to the reading section of the English. It won't be asked in writing, so you're only focusing on it for that one exam. So what we're going to look at is the 7 common purposes of text that you might see, or you might be asked to discuss in some detail. Now, quite commonly, the question, it'll just be a multiple choice, so possibly 4 answers. You'll just have to skim and scan read the source documents that it's referring to, and then just pick one of the appropriate options that you think it is. The other way they could ask you it is obviously not a multiple choice, and you just have to write down which one you think best suits, again, the document that they're referring to. So what we've got up on the left here is, as I say, the 7 common types that you might be likely to see somewhere. Now, out of those 7, I would say that some are more likely than others, but that's not concrete. That's just an idea of what I've seen in practice papers before. So we've got inform, describe, persuade, argue, discuss, instruct, and advise. So like I say, out of those ones, I would suggest that inform, just underline that one, persuade, advise, and possibly instruct. Those would be my guesses at ones you'd be more likely to see, but as I say, that's not to say that you should discount the others and not learn them. It's just what I've seen in previous exams that come up more commonly. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through each one in a bit more detail, just so you can get an idea of what to look for when you get asked this question. What are the little signs where you can help you decide basically which one you think it's going to be about, or what the actual purpose of that text is. So first of all then, we've got to inform. So hopefully this one essentially does what it says on the tin. It's providing you information on something. So as a result, it'll tend to be full of facts, which I've written on here. And facts are just statements which can be proven. So underneath that, we've got an example of a bit of text that you might see that's going to be informative. So we've got, e.g., the shop is open every weekday from 9 AM to 5 AM. Oh, that should say PM, but never mind, we'll just write over that. A little error there. Yeah, so the shop is open every weekday from 9 AM to 5 PM. So straight away, you've got a fact there. It's giving you that information, and that's something that could be proven. So if you went down to the shop every day, you could check whether it was indeed open or not. And then underneath that, there are 12 full-time staff, and it is located on Allen Street. So we've got 2 more factual statements there. We've got 12 full-time staff, which could be proven, and it's located on Allen Street. So those are your things that you're looking out for. Like I say, any facts which tells you if it can be proved or not, and it will just be very unbiased. It won't give you someone's opinion or point of view. It'll come across in that way. So the next one we've got, if we move on to this page, is to describe. So this will usually try and help you imagine something that perhaps you can't see. Obviously it's written down, so you might not be able to see the event or particular place that's describing. You commonly get this in a fictional book. So just underline again, helps you to imagine something, and is used in a fictional book. So as a result for this one, they use a lot of adjectives, which makes sense because adjectives are defined as describing words. Now we've got another example bit of text underneath. So e.g., the shop is on a wide street with vibrant coloured pavements and beautiful tall trees on either side. So we've got quite a few examples of these adjectives or descriptive words. So telling us that the street is wide, there are vibrant coloured pavements and beautiful tall trees, all very descriptive words to help build this imagination of the thing we're reading. So they're the things to look out for if you think it might be a descriptive bit of text. Okay, the next one is to persuade. So this one, it says trying to convince the reader to do something, and it'll commonly use words to make the reader feel something as well. And then finally, they'll often use facts to make it sound more convincing. So think about any adverts where a company is trying to sell you something, or even just a takeaway leaflet you might get through your door. They're trying to persuade you to buy a product or service generally. So they're going to use these techniques. So using words to make you feel something, so a certain positive emotion about a product if that's what they're trying to sell you, and then using these facts, but only using them in a way to make you, say, believe in that product or service. So again, another example bit of text. The outstanding new phone is sleek, easy to use, and has a number of excellent features, and then you can pinpoint your location within 20 meters. So it's using this language and these, again, adjectives like the descriptive one. So sleek, easy to use, number of excellent features. So it's really promoting everything positive about this phone. And then where we said using facts to make it more convincing, it talks about one of the specific features, so you can pinpoint your location within 20 meters. So it's using both those techniques that we discussed at the top. So that's your persuasive bit of writing. And move on now to argue. So this one, it'll make the reader want to, well, try and make the reader agree with the writer's opinion. So they'll make one opinion very clear, and they'll often, again, a bit like persuasion one, they'll use facts to try and back up this opinion and argument. They'll also use a bit of strong language to show how they feel about it. So underline those key bits again. Want to make you agree with a certain opinion, make one opinion very clear, use facts to back up this, and maybe some strong language as well just added in there. Okay, so the example we've got for this one, still on the same lines with this phone we were talking about. So the tracking technology installed with the new phone is a disgrace. So straight away, really strongly worded to show you how they feel about that phone. There are already 120,000 cases of stalking each year. So that's where they've used that fact to make out that it's a terrible idea, these phones, and you shouldn't have them because of something that might be related to it, and this might make that point worse. So they're saying if it's got this tracking technology, this is only going to get worse potentially because it's making it easy for people. But as I say, you can see that they've only given that one clear positive outlook on the phone. They haven't said, negative outlook on the phone. They haven't said anything positive about it and possibly the benefits of this technology. They're clearly against the phone, and that's all they're telling you, and they're using really strong language to make you try and agree with them. So that's what the sort of things you're looking for in your argue types of writing. And the next one we've got is to discuss. So this one, it'll use evidence to try and reach a conclusion. So they usually give more than one opinion, so therefore they'll look at both sides of an argument and then come up with this conclusion. So it's a lot more balanced straight away. So use evidence to reach a conclusion, give more than one opinion on the topic. So they're looking at both sides and then trying to reach, say, this balanced conclusion. So at the bottom there we've got, there's been a lot of fair criticism of some of the features of the new phone. However, I'm impressed by the accuracy of the tracking function. So overall, it's a great example of modern technology. So you can clearly see how they've put, again, what we've just talked about into practice as an example of a discussion. So the first point, they're saying there is some fair criticism, so they looked at the negatives. Obviously we've not gone into too much detail, but they have put that side of the argument in there. Then they've gone on to say, however, I'm impressed by the accuracy of the tracking function. So they're looking on the positive side now. And they've used those to try and decide what they think of it overall. So overall, therefore, it's a great, you can't see that brilliantly, but it's a great example of modern technology. So they've come up with that balanced conclusion after looking at the positives and the negatives. And then the last two, so we've got to instruct. This will tell you exactly what to do, and it will usually give you specific instructions to follow. So a bit like information, it does what it says on the tin, this one. So it'll often split the information up into numbered lists or bullet points, and they'll use really clear and short, concise language just to make it easier to understand. So they don't want to give you a lot of text. If it's something important you need to know how to do quickly. So this example, looking at card games, so they've just got 2 bullet points like I mentioned up here, using bullet points or numbered lists, and just short, clear and concise language. So first one, deal out 7 cards to each person. Again, it's easy to read and understand, you know what you're doing straight away. And then each player may discard 1 card they do not want. So let's say it's really short, easy to read language, and quite often they'll be put in order, but this one's just a bullet point list. Okay, then finally we've got advise. So again, it's pretty much how it sounds. It's just providing advice on how to do something or some tips. And commonly, again, you'll probably see this in bullet points just to make it a bit easier and quicker to read for the reader. So your example here, think about how much you want to spend. Making a budget makes it easier to decide which car to buy, and then think about what you need it for. So just 2 tips. It's not saying you definitely need to do this or having a specific right or wrong opinion. It's just giving you ideas on how to form your own opinion if you're going to be obviously buying a car. So words like think, it's not saying you should or you need to do this. Think about how much you want to spend, and then giving you the actual advice. Making a budget. And think again here, what you need it for. Those are your 7 main purposes of text. If you've got any further questions or anything you don't understand from that and any other possible purpose of text answers, feel free to write a comment in the box underneath the YouTube video and we'll get back to you as quick as we can. That's the end of this tutorial.